इसमें जोड़ता है. Then we are also starting the new 5-year cycle of the next Finance Commission, the 16th Finance Commission, which starts from 1st April 2026. And therefore, the estimates are largely on the recommendations of the Finance Commission. So I'm taking care of the next 5 years as per the recommendations. Then coming to 26-27, you're looking at 1 year's budget. So in other words, this is, as Honorable Prime Minister said before the commencement of this budget session, that this is the first budget of the second quarter of 21st century, and truly it has got many of those features in it. That is why you're looking at some of the long-term investments that we are making today, which will have bearing in the long term. Whether you're talking of the biopharma Shakti, the very thing that where we are highlighting how biosimilars will be an answer to many of those life-threatening diseases. And that takes a long time to evolve. You invest today, biosimilar arrives after several years. But India should have a lead in that, and therefore even in this budget, we have provided for research in biopharma and making sure that we will be leaders in biologics and biosimilars. The same is the spirit which guided us when we said we need to have India's Semiconductor Mission 2.0, the second edition of it. And in that, I'd like to highlight that I've spent a brief mention of investing in cutting-edge areas like carbon capture, because carbon capture is a very important means through which our 2070 net zero goal can be achieved. We have mentioned about carbon capture also. The strategy, the technology, and the ways to do it are all evolving, but even as it is evolving, we have invested in it so that we can be a leader in that. By doing these, which are somewhat leading us towards a medium and a long term, we are also continuing our push in building infrastructure. Now, it's not just roads, it's not just national highways, it's also looking at waterways so that the cost of logistics in this country can come down, and states which are very much in the hinterland, not connected to any seaport, will have the advantage of moving goods faster at a lesser cost. So we very clearly created freight corridors as part of the very exclusive land on the surface transport, but equally spending resources and planning for infrastructure through waterways, national waterways. Even as we are doing this, Madam Deputy Speaker, emphasis on labor-intensive sectors and giving them emphasis so that not just they can have more resources to improve, but even looking at legacy industries which are waiting for rejuvenation have been funded. I'll take the example of building champions out of MSMEs, particularly the medium-sized units, which do not want to grow out of the MSME category, even though they have the capacity, even though they have every strength. But even in the last budget, we expanded the definition of MSME so that even if they go beyond a certain level in their turnover, they'll still be defined as MSME. They don't lose out on their benefits. But this budget, we've taken that a bit further and very clearly announced ways in which such medium-sized industries which have potential to grow and export and also become champions in their sectors can be given further help, and I've announced several steps towards equity help, professional help, and also making sure that they will have liquidity access. And in the process of 3 ways in which we want to reach them, we are giving them the support which, even if they grow out of the turnover limit, which defines them as an MSME, they will be leaders in their sectors so that they can participate in India's growth. Is this only for industries? And is it not going to concentrate, is this budget not going to concentrate on building manpower so that our youth can aspire in a particular sphere of activity to go with skills in his hand or her hand and achieve jobs or become entrepreneurs themselves? In this, I would like to highlight two major announcements that we've made, in which I have not named any states. In fact, I have openly said, for creating this big facility, states can aspire, any state can aspire, going through the PM Gati Shakti filters. If you think you have a proposition in your hand, any state can ask for one of the 5 that I've announced in terms of the allied and health service, where we want to set up medical hubs. States can aspire to be a part of it, wherein all the aspects of medical education and hospitals for treatment of patients can all be focused in one area, where nurses or any other 10 different allied health services will have their institutions through which people can learn, get themselves skilled, find jobs there itself, and that will become a medical tourism hub. So any state can qualify, and I'm sure states which have traditional strength can also be coming in for it. And this includes Ayush as well. So this is a major forward-looking proposition, wherein immediately, because of the medical tourism advantage that India has, this will become a center of multi-purpose, multi-speciality allied health service center through which we can promote medical health, medical tourism. So that was one of the major announcements. Similarly, we have said, instead of waiting to qualify and finishing your education and coming out and seeking where should they go for acquiring skills, the skilling element can be brought into education itself, and at the end of the day, when they come out, students can say, I can become entrepreneur, and this kind of a mega center can be kept next to any industrial cluster that any state has. So these mega entrepreneurship building centers as education hubs can also be coming up from any state. We are willing to work with the states so that this mammoth higher education center can be propped up, and therefore students can go there, come out as entrepreneurs, get to doing businesses. So if we've done these two in the major education-related activity, health-related activity, we've also openly said that mega textile parks, we are willing to work with states, particularly looking at industrial textiles, looking at textiles which are going to be new age, which are now becoming a part of manufacturing in industries, whether they manufacture a car, where the safety cushion which comes in is all completely made out of industrial textiles. So these kind of new age textile requirements can also be produced. So these are major announcements, and I welcome any state which wants to come into this area. The center is willing to work with them and promote it. If this is all being done at the level of youth and students and larger centers where jobs and education can go together, health and education can go together, health and providing services to patients who come from different parts of the world come together,